to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only podcast that is going to start today's episode off on a little bit of a downbeat. Unfortunately, as of this recording, a few days prior, it was announced that mangaka of Berserk, Kentaro Miura, had passed away a couple of weeks ago.
May 8th, if I remember correctly.
5th.
Or maybe 5th, yeah.
It's incredibly sombering for a lot of people, including myself, because Berserk is a large part of the reason why I'm not a basic bitch.
Yeah. You read a few pages of Berserk, you listen to Susumu Hirasawa, and bam, you're an alternative now. Can go back.
And the voice you just heard is our special guest for today's episode, Tiduidu.
Pozdrawiam wszystkie mango zjeby elo.
Don't curse me in whatever fucking tongue speak you talking, you frickin' bitch.
Don't worry about it.
Could you not think of like a proper colloquial swear for Polish people?
No, I mean, I could. I literally grew up in a community of people who thought Polish people were bad. So yeah, I know quite a few actually.
I mean, they weren't wrong.
Dude, that's so weird. Is like the stereotypes I heard on the East Coast about Polish people just blows my mind. Like, I've never heard a single person on the West Coast have anything. They don't even know Poland is a country. And then you go to the East Coast, like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they're like, oh yeah, the Polish people, they as stupid as they come.
I mean, there's more Polish people living in Chicago than in Poland, so that's not exactly surprising.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the person that you just heard talk about race on the podcast yet again is the Mothman.
You're the one over here who can't come up with a proper, like, insult for Polish people.
Well, I don't personally like, insulting people's, like, intrinsic nationalities.
And that's why we employ Moth as our residential slurs expert, so don't worry about it.
Alright, so this week on Slur of the Day, we're talking about one that I picked up in Kentucky.
The only thing I want to pick up in Kentucky is my own fucking balls off the ground, because I
was going to say tinnitus.
I thought you were going to say fried chicken, but okay.
Yeah, fried chicken was right there, and I listen, I'm not at 100% today, feeling a little sick, feeling a little off.
Well, luckily for you, Mike, I'm back. And I'm revved up, because I got slighted at church today. I'm so mad. So just so you guys know.
What happened?
But no, we're recording on a Sunday. So, Tid, I know you're aware I'm Mormon. I'm hoping everybody in the cast at this point is aware I'm Mormon.
Yep.
Wait, you're Mormon?
Yeah, I wouldn't guess, right? What, the white supremacy didn't give it away? So I go to church as often as I can, as much as my job lets me. And I just moved to a new ward. And I'm sitting there and I'm definitely like in the wealthy part of town now, which is really worrying me because the people are no longer relatable. But I'm sitting at church today and they do this thing called sacrament meeting, which is like the first hour. I'm going to give you the quickest rundown so I can explain what happens. And, one of the things they do is like, I'm not sure what they call it, communion in the Catholic Church, where you get the water and the wine, or the bread and the wine.
They call it the communion.
Yeah, communion. We get something similar to that. It's literally just called the sacrament. And what we do is we have a bunch of 12-year-olds who, I mean, kids are dumb. Okay, yes. I need to start with kids are dumb, and they stop being the cute dumb after 4th grade, and are just the dumb after that.
As someone who works with children regularly as a teacher, I can confirm that.
Like, and sometimes they're like clever dumb, where they like accidentally glue themselves to a wall, and then you look at like the label on the bottle, and there should be no way physically that child is stuck to the wall. But like, after like 4th grade, they're just dumb. They're not funny, they're not cute, they're not endearing, they're just dumb. And
so how did the child slur you?
So at 12 years old, we let them be what's called deacons. Which is their entire job is they tell them they have all these sorts of wonderful things they can do. In reality, they pass the sacrament. That's their entire job. They pick up the happy little ladle. They go around. They make sure everybody in the church gets the happy little ladle of water and bread and and that's their entire job. And I'm sitting dead middle in the back row, so it is impossible to miss me. And these kids come by and I get the bread and I'm like, okay, you know, and like the problem is it's something that's supposed to be held with a certain level of sacred. Like when I was doing it as a stupid 12-year-old, if I screwed up at all during the next hour when we learned about like Jesus whipping tax collectors and stuff, I got loaded into for 30 minutes for not having like proper back posture, for not holding it at a 90-degree angle. Like they went off on me about anything I did wrong when I was doing this. And these kids are like slack jawing it, like swinging this stuff around, like, oh, take the bread. And they're like limp wristing everything. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna commit a small child genocide. And they get me on the bread and then they totally space me on the water. And I'm like, how do you, like, you have to follow a pattern. You're like, if you're this kid, you go down this row. If you're this kid, you go down this row. It's like a pre-established pattern they have to follow. Because I know this, because I had to do it as a kid. And the kids like completely miss me. And then the bishop, the guy in charge of the war, is like, did anybody who wanted to take the sacrament not get the sacrament? And I have to like raise my hand in a room full of strangers and be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I only take half of it, I'm going to be condemned to hell. Can you like help me out here? And, so they bring it back around and then the dude beelines to me and he's like, you wouldn't happen to be the new member who just moved in, would you?
Oh no.
And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I am. Can you put me in charge of the deacon presidency, please? So I'm pissed. I'm revved up and I'm pissed now.
Got the snack, but not the drink. The worst party ever. I can sympathize.
So yeah, I'm back. I'm back, baby. Mike, I'm back. I'm back and I'm mad at you. I'm mad at church right now and I'm mad at you. So let's do this.
Wait, that was it? That was your whole beginning story?
Okay.
That was the weakest Moth story I've ever heard, and I've heard some pretty weak ones.
All right, so in 10th grade, I was in an art class, and my teacher thought it'd be a good idea to tell 3 truths, or 2 truths and a lie. And like, the 10th graders, once again, kids are stupid. We had a high-functioning Down syndrome girl in the class. And I know how we talk about like levels of the autism spectrum where it's like, oh yeah, you know, he's high functioning, all this stuff. Like, oh yeah, no, he's totally normal. He just likes Harry Potter, whatever. I think there is a high functioning level of Down syndrome where like they are actually capable of interact. I don't want to say it without sounding like a geneticist.
Moth, there are different varying levels of cognitive decline with people who suffer with these disabilities. Yes.
Okay, so this girl was apex. There's no way to say this without sounding insulting. This is apex Down syndrome.
No, you can. You can just say she was very she suffered very heavily. That's it. That's all you got to say.
Top
you don't
tier
have to be
Down
like
syndrome, 1 percentile.
Top 1% of. She was the top 1% of Ratatatas.
Like, you don't have to sit there and say she was the ubermensch of people with bad brains. You don't have to say it.
She would absolutely come in first place in a 3rd grade spelling bee, all right? That's what I'm going to say right there. Mike, I'm sorry. So we're all going around and we're like telling the 3 truths and the lie. And to this day, like 14 years later, I will never forget what this girl said because it terrified me to my core. And she's like, you know, once again, Down syndrome. And she gets up and she goes, oh, yeah, so my 3 truths. I talk to ghosts. I love wolves. And Naruto's my favorite anime. And
which was the lie?
Well, apparently it was the I love wolves was the lie. And I guess her dad, like, does pest control in Idaho. And wolves are a big enough pest that they, like, actually have to hunt them and kill them. And I guess her dad just comes home and shows her videos of him, like, thermiting wolves and shit. And
okay.
I'm just like, what do you even say when this girl's like, I talk to ghosts, I love wolves, and Naruto's my favorite anime? And I'm just like, maybe Naruto isn't her favorite anime? No, I enjoy watching videos of wolves getting blown up at the molecular level with dynamite.
Does she talk to their ghost later? How does it work?
But I guess she talked to ghosts.
I don't know, man. If I liked fucking blowing up wolves, I don't think Casper's gonna be too friendly with me.
Like, how are you not haunted by the souls of the dead?
No, you don't understand. The ghosts, they're chill, you know.
I mean,
they don't haunt you. They just vibe, baby.
in the end, that's standard practice. You kill someone, you summon the spirit to interrogate them later because they can lie. Bada bing, bada boom. She does that to wolves.
Isn't that just Phoenix Wright?
That's true, yeah.
Or like Ghost Detective, whatever it's called.
Ghost Trick is what you're thinking about.
But in Ghost Trick, you are the dead, not the people.
Okay, so I gotta pick a bunch of fights with Mike today. The first one is, Mike, have you been watching Tokyo Revengers?
No, why would I keep watching a show that's bad?
Because it's good. It's phenomenal, Mike. It is literally a good Steins Gate.
Stop saying that!
No, because you're wrong, because it's a good Steins Gate.
You cannot invoke base similarities and be like, yes, this is a better version of this other thing.
I know.
Because they both have something to do with time travel.
Look, all I'm saying is, Steins Gate is the past, this is the future.
I know two people who talk about Tokyo Revengers. One of them is Moth, and the other one is a guy on Twitter who is reading the manga who is saying this is the gayest thing he's ever seen. There might be a correlation here, I don't know.
Okay, so Mike over here, big brain, doesn't think Tokyo Revengers, a show with an actual, like, enjoyable main character because he's weak and pathetic and actually knows his limitations. He doesn't like that. But he likes a show with the two worst lesbians in anime history.
Okay, I know you're talking about Zombieland Saga.
Oh.
But like these are incomparable things. You're like, "Oh, you like potato chips, yet you also don't like french fries?" You both eat them with your hand. How curious. You're such a fucking dumbass.
I mean, they're both made out of potatoes. It's a valid comparison.
Yes, and both Junko and I are also potatoes.
And yeah, no, Junko and I are like not the strongest characters in Zombieland Saga.
They are literally the worst characters in Zombieland Saga. I put them in the same category as the main character, Mike. Like,
no, the only character, even the main character's fine. Like the show is like the best episodes aren't about them. Like Junko and I had a really great like two-parter in this new season. But I mean, outside of that, they're idol girls. Like it's just an idol girl show. Like I really like that show.
No,
but I'm not out here fucking telling people, yo, this is like Idolmaster but better.
Okay.
Just because they both have idols in it.
No, it is Idolmaster but better.
Shut up.
No, but
I don't even know anything about Idolmaster. I can't hold that.
Here's
opinion.
my issue with Zombieland Saga, and it comes down to like, you remember in Breaking Bad? I don't know. Did you watch Breaking Bad start to finish?
I watched the first season.
Okay, did you ever
Finish it.
Do you ever notice how Jesse was literally responsible for every bad thing that happened from like the second season onward? Like,
yeah, but also it's kind of understandable, and Walt didn't help, but yes.
Yeah, okay, sure, but like Jesse is literally, there were points in the show where they just brought Jesse in to continue the plot so he could do something wrong. He was the rat trap from Transformers Beast Wars of Breaking Bad. And
you mean the best character?
And so,
yeah, Moth, you mean to tell me that characters did thing in the story, and so that's a criticism?
No, but like he had one job, and it was the fall boy. His entire job was to have his girlfriend get murdered so the plot can progress. Like that was Jesse. But back to Zombieland Saga. If they just let the geisha take over and run the show, they would be worldwide idols in a week. And they actively refuse to do that because that would actually end the show because they would get something done.
Well, yeah.
Two things, Moth. Thing number one, the whole point of the show is not for them to be national idols. It's for them to revive Saga as a district. B, the geisha girl so far has almost no personality because they have yet to give her her own episode.
Yeah, because she's the strongest character.
How can you say someone who has had no real development yet is the strongest character?
Because she hauls ass for everyone else on the show. You're
just horny because she says ara ara and has big boobs.
No, that's not true at all. She also knows how to cook, Mike.
The only thing I know about Zombieland Saga that it's the first honest show about idols because you know for a fact they don't poop because they're undead.
I need to watch.
So the question is, like, how much of zombies are they?
Oh well, that they established in the first episode. They eat to maintain their higher brain function.
Oh, okay. Question for you, Mike. I saw a hot take the other day. I need you to answer this for me. And Tid,
Wait. I'm sorry. We cannot move on while it still exists this fucking meme of Tokyo Revengers being better Steins Gate.
It is!
I'm not even someone who particularly likes Steingate.
Mike.
And that's the stupid... Listen, Tokyo Revengers is just a bad show about time travel with a not great main character whose main attribute is that he cry a lot. That's
why he's so relatable to
bad.
the current anime viewing generation. He doesn't do anything with his life, and he cries a lot. That's really relatable for people.
I mean, Kimetsu no Yaiba got very popular because of that, so maybe.
No, Mike. Here's the thing. Take the latent homosexuality in Steins Gate and bring it to the forefront and make it the main focus, and it's better.
Excuse me? Wait. Are you referring to the fact that one character in Steins Gate is a femme-presenting man, and you're like, the latent sexuality of this work because it has a side character that you want to have sex with? Shut the fuck up!
Don't you dare insult best girl in this room with me, Mike.
I'm gonna fucking fish. I'm gonna fucking push you in the water, and then when I fish your body out of the river, I'm gonna say, "Who could have done this?"
Toot to room, bro. I need you to toot to room right now. All right, just watch Tokyo Revengers. Watch episode 1. Watch episode 2. Then you're just gonna keep watching after that. You're gonna keep watching episode 3. You're gonna keep going 4. 5 is gonna cliffhanger you, but it's okay because episode 6 came out Saturday, and you're gonna watch episode 6, and then they're gonna cliffhanger you again, and you're gonna come back to it like the dirty slut you are, Mike, because Tokyo Revengers is the GOAT this season.
I'm sorry, I watched episode 1 and was incredibly turned off by this 40-year-old man who's obsessed with the 13-year-old crush he had in junior high school.
Okay, I just... Do you not know what one-itis is, Mike?
One-itis?
Yes, one-itis is an insult term referred to a guy who can't get over the one really great relationship he had.
Okay.
Or monogamous people, yeah.
Yeah, and so the main character in this actually has one-itis. And so it's really interesting to see accurate representations of mental illnesses in anime.
There's so much wrong with that entire sentence.
Clinically unable to get pussy.
This dude's a fucking creep, and like here's the worst thing too. Like he hears that his fucking childhood ex-girlfriend died, and he's like, "Man, I can't even remember what she looks like, but boy, I wish I could save her.
I wish I could clap those cheeks right now."
Then he fucking goes back in time. He can remember where his childhood ex-girlfriend lives, but God forbid if he can remember her fucking face without seeing it. This dude's fucking weird.
He is truly a king of the Aspies. Because I can tell you what, I can't remember anybody's name, I can't remember anybody's face, but you want to ask me where my buddy lived when I was 16 years old, I can tell you, I could drive there right now. Like, I can get to any destination when I was 15 years old. Like, no problem.
It's funny because I discussed the same thing on the stream yesterday that, I don't remember any faces or people that I was with in high school, but I remember the exact layout of the school.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, Mike over here, Mike is just bashing on people with mental illnesses here. Like, you realize we try to make this an inclusive podcast and be allies to everyone, right, Mike?
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your goddamn lip, you piece of shit. Fuck you.
I'm going to text Mike from a microwave just to make sure you die him off.
Hey, when you talk about this podcast, it's just 2 years in the past, when you talk about this podcast, make sure Moth is asleep.
Yeah, dude, as he's sleeping, just gently put the pillow over his face and just firmly push down. Fucking hell, man.
Okay, now that we've established that Tokyo Revengers is good and Mike just hates people with mental disabilities, we can continue. So Mike, I have a question for you about Uran High School Host Club.
Okay.
Would you say that Uran High School Host Club, in retrospect, is LGBTQ friendly?
I mean, Okay, what question are you asking here, actually? Are you asking if it has representation, or if an LGBTQ person could watch it? Because, like, the one is very broad, and the other is very specific.
Look, I'm just trying to paint with a brush here, bro. I don't care if it's a 2.5. I don't care if it's a 0, a Windsor 00. Like, I'm just trying to paint with a brush. What I'm saying here, Mike... What?
Ouran High Host Club is as LGBT friendly as fucking Friends or Seinfeld is. It's a TV show.
No. But, like, hear me out here, Mike. Hear me out here, okay? I think, because I saw somebody talking about how problematic it was the other day. So I, like, went back and watched a couple of episodes because I'm petty. And, honestly, it's the most, like, allied happy anime I can think of that doesn't involve a bunch of sexy men trying to convince a lesbian she's straight. Like, I mean, the main character is non-binary. She identifies very non-binary. It's got incest in it.
Moth, I am literally non-binary. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch
Go back
baby.
and watch the first episode with the sub, not the dub.
You can't. Oh, Moth. Shut up. Androgyny is not being non-binary.
No,
I'm not androgynous.
Mike, she actually says she doesn't feel like a boy or a girl.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm fucking glad that this show in which a character dresses androgynous and in a dub just says, yeah, I don't feel, and you know what? I don't even think it fucking says
yes,
that.
Yes, it does. Go
you're
watch
a dumb
the
baby.
first episode. Go watch. It's 20 minutes and it has a baller OP, Mike. It goes kiss, kiss, fall in love. Do-do, 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 do-do.
No, I think the first episode of Ouran High School is a really good episode of anime because that's a cool show. But shut the fuck up about what characters you think are representation.
Let me go down my list
alive.
right now, okay? So she is non-binary. Her dad is RuPaul. Like, you can't get any more LGBT friendly than being RuPaul, Mike. Like, I mean,
I need you to understand how stupid that statement is if you just look into RuPaul a little bit.
Mike, I need you to not be a drag here while I continue this list.
Mom, Dad, are you fighting?
That is the third time you've made a shitty fucking pun. I've counted.
Look, no, but like, here's the thing. If I ask, she is non-binary, her dad is a drag queen, and like on top of that, everyone accepts her for who she is, and everybody, like, her father accepts her friends. Like, you got incest, gay incest, I might add. You got a guy who is attracted to her regardless of her gender. Like, you have such an opening and welcoming environment in that anime. Like, it tackles classism, it tackles non-binary rights, it tackles men can be just as beautiful as women at nightclubs. Like, in reality, I can't think of a better show that has such a wide net to cast such a wide group of like people that can watch it. Because there's LGBT stuff that's directly targeted at women who are lesbians and guys who are gay, but like Ouran is like, everybody's welcome, let's drink some tea, let's get some stuff going, guys.
I mean, that's nice. I don't know shit about Ouran, so I can't say
I think I killed Mike.
I think you have. I've just seen a bunch of clips on how.
Hey, Tiduidu, as I understand it, you recently did a playthrough of fucking
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
I mean, I finished my second run. Yes, thank you.
By the way, Mike, I want you to know that I've actively been debating picking up Disco Elysium, and then every time I look at it, I realize how much text is there.
It's fully voiced right now.
Oh, so it's like Hades, where I don't actually have to read.
Yes.
Yeah, there are still some bits that aren't voiced, but it's like 99% voiced.
Like the one sentence blurbs that you get when you click on objects aren't voiced, but that's about it. Sometimes there is a bug and they read the wrong line, and then you have to read it, but it's like 1%.
Okay. I'm trying to think because here's the thing: Disco Elysium is very much the store page on Steam does not do a good job of describing Disco Elysium at all. Disco Elysium's an enigma. So, Titty, could you explain Disco Elysium exactly how the gameplay works, what people are going to be enjoying about the game, what they might not like about the game?
All right. Have you ever played tabletop RPGs?
Yes.
Okay, so this is basically this one system where your GM said, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to deal with combat. Everything will be done by throwing 2d6s and comparing to a skill. And it's mostly just narrative and dialogue, while your main character has fucking schizophrenia and 24 voices in his head. It's Everyone Was John, if you ever played that.
Everyone was John?
Yeah, Everyone is John is a tabletop system where everyone plays the same character, a guy called John, and everyone is like a voice in his head, and you use dice and power tokens to basically wrangle control of what he's going to do right next.
That actually sounds baller as hell.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that sounds sick as
Yeah,
shit.
right. Like, damn. Okay, so it's a tabletop game where there's no combat checks. Everything is resolved with 2 dice rolls.
Yeah, basically, there is a situation, for example, you need to punch a kid in the face, right? But it's just 2d6 plus your strength. Did you pass? Yes, no. That's it. There is no like combat like in D&D sense, right? Or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, and when he says punch a kid in the face, it's like a 10-year-old.
I heard
Yeah.
there's a scene where you have to break into a back lot to keep meth-addicted children from throwing rocks at a corpse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, that's the first big milestone in the game.
Is stopping
Yeah.
children from throwing rocks at a dead body.
Yeah, because you need to get the body down because this is the case you're working on. You're a cop.
Okay. So, if you guys like, don't just be like, oh, it's the best game I ever played, 10 out of 10, because like that's garbage. Where would you actually rate this?
It's one of the best free games I played in 2019, and that's just because 2019 was crazy packed as a year.
Okay.
I think it's easily one of the single best narrative RPGs that I've ever
Okay.
played.
If you were going to take the narrative RPG aspect and compare it to, say, like the grandmaster of narrative RPGs, Persona 4 Golden, where would this sit?
Above.
Shut the hell up. You stupid baby. You fucking idiot.
It would sit above just based on the replayability because Persona doesn't factor in your stats as much as Disco does.
Okay.
There's 1 million words, and last time I checked, there's like 5,000 passive checks for your stats in this game.
So,
I would say it goes above Persona 4 just for the fact that it has a good story.
okay, but can you have sex with tomboys in it? Because that's what's most important here.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, 0 out of 10,
You
literally
can-
unplayable.
Can you have sex with tomboys? No. You can, though, have a sombering experience in which you take a widowed mother on a very lonely date in the middle of fucking a winter.
Can you bang her afterwards?
No. You either leave her and she's really uncomfortable with you, or you leave her and she's like, that was really nice.
And you get a sword.
Yes. That does nothing.
Yeah. Because it's a modern setting.
Okay.
But you can put it on your hip and you can look fancy and it'll give you a slight buff to authoritarian checks if you have your authoritarian points
Okay,
up.
so let's let me ask it like this. Would you describe it as a choose your own adventure game where you're not really playing to get to the end, but you're playing to see all the stupid stuff that happens from point A to point B?
Yeah.
You can, absolutely, but also at the same time, I think the main plot and getting to the end is also worth it. It's very well written as a murder mystery.
Okay.
And there is a solid answer to the plot, but like how you find the answer, your answer is like it could end in so many different places.
Okay.
There's a lot of like things that are so missable that it will not even occur to you to check them out. Like there's a character in the game who who says he has a family member, but he doesn't have a family member. He pretends to be that other person. And you would not even know that unless you found that out.
Yep.
Okay. So, Disco Elysium, if we're dropping the games we're playing, can I drop the game that I'm now addicted to that has eaten up 24 hours in 3 days?
Sure.
Elite Dangerous Odyssey.
Oh boy, you're a space boy.
No, I'm a battle tech guy.
Okay,
Like,
that's
I
fine.
love Mech Warrior. In fact, the Mech Warrior 5 DLC drops on the 27th, and I'm so hard right now. Like, people talk about diamond hands when they talk about trading in the cryptocurrency market. Right now, I'm just diamond knobs, whatever. I have an erection.
Yeah, are there French people in this game who just attack your ship to tell you that Scum
Elite
Citizen is
Dangerous
better?
isn't as good as Star Citizen. Okay, so for everybody, I picked a fight, and I really should be better about not being such a negative person on Twitter, because that's like too easy to do. But I was so happy with Elite Dangerous, because Elite Dangerous now does everything. The only thing Elite Dangerous doesn't do well is playing with your friends. For an MMO experience, you actually have a really hard time. Like, if your buddy flies a ship and you fly a ship, it works pretty well together. But if, like, you throw your buddy on your ship, he can't get out of your ship until you land at a starport. So if you land on a planet and go to get some stuff out of, like, a lunar base, your buddy's just stuck in the gunner seat like, well, I guess I'll just kill myself. So it does everything really well. You got land-based missions, you got aerial-based missions, you got space battles, you have everything you could want to do in a space sim. Even the economy's good. And I made a joke. I was like, man, Elite Dangerous has really become the game that Star Citizen set out to be. And this random French dude just ripped into me. Like, out of nowhere, is like, how dare you insult my favorite Ponzi scheme?
It's also worth noting that he ripped into you in French, not in English, the
Yeah,
language you posted the tweet
I
in.
sent him a message in English, or I typed the whole thing in English. He sends me a message in French. I had to go get our local French guy and ask him to translate it to me and then send a message back. And then he just kept responding in French. And I was like, I don't speak French. Wait. Like, I speak German, English, and I'm working on Brazilian just because I really want to learn Portuguese.
I was just about to say Brazilian is not language, but you corrected yourself.
No, it's...
I don't even think that was him correcting himself. He's just like, I'm going to learn Brazilian so I can learn Portuguese. That's how I read
completely
that.
different languages. You try to speak Portuguese in Portugal and you try to speak it in Brazil, you're going to get your ass beat.
I mean, that's fine.
Honestly, so if you were to take Portuguese and replace like a bunch of words with just random phrases from Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike, and League of Legends, that's Brazilian.
Okay.
I don't think that's how language works. I don't
It's
think
absolutely how language works, Mike. Some of my best friends are Brazilian, and I'll fight you.
so. One of my best friends is Brazilian. I will fucking beat the shit out of you into your bloody pulp.
Wait, are you talking about Quake?
What? No, he's from Chile.
Wait, why is he cold? He lives by the equator.
That's not even true.
For
Anyway,
Mike,
I have a fucking I've lately been addicted to a little game myself. The past week there was a Final Fantasy XIV fan keynote thing, and it announced the new class for the new expansion and the release date, and I watched it and I was like, wow, my skin's itching. What is this? Withdrawal symptoms?
What's happening to my teeth?
And I immediately bought the special edition of the last expansion, pre-ordered the special edition of the new expansion, and bought back in to the game. I spent like $120, and yeah, I've been playing the game. I started a new character over from 0. And I'm already fucking level 40, and I've only played it for 3 days, cause fucking getting your fucking characters leveled is fucking easy as shit now. Like, holy fuck.
Sprout XP bonus is ridiculous, that's true.
Not only that, but if you pre-order Endwalker, you get this like fucking
they do
earring
that every
gives
expansion.
Yeah. This one's like particularly good though, cause it's also just like a pretty decent piece of equipment as well.
Yeah, it's
between 14 and Monster Hunter Rise, the crack market is on the rise. It's really
I haven't been in love with Rise. Mostly, my biggest issue with Rise just comes down to the fact that like I do not enjoy spending 7 minutes of my hunt picking up bugs. Like if you played Rise right now, like that just every hunt you spend like a good 5 minutes picking up bugs so that you can go kill the monster.
You know, that's optional,
Yeah, but
right?
you don't have half your stat bar if you do that.
No, those are just bonus stats. They don't like you don't go in gimped. You can pick up bonus stats.
Right, but what I'm saying is like if I want my health, you get like 75% of your health bar if you eat the best meal you can eat and you go out there. You have to go get your other 25% of your health bar, Mike.
I've never had a single issue with just playing the game.
All I'm saying is like, really, I still think Monster Hunter 2, if they were to take the game Monster Hunter 2 and bring all the combat mechanics that they've changed, because they've changed all the weapons a lot, but if they changed all the mechanics from like World, brought that over to 2 and uplifted the graphics, we'd have the best Monster Hunter of all time.
I think that's a terrible opinion, because every old Monster Hunter game is a bad video game for people with brainworms.
I have no idea how you can be such an elitist and then not think Monster Hunter 2 is the best Monster Hunter.
How can you call me an elitist when I'm like, yeah, I won't play the old games? What do you
mean? You're an elitist
mean?
about other things, Mike. You're so like exclusive in the things you like. Like I can enjoy stuff. Mike, I can enjoy things. But you're like, no, I won't watch Tokyo Revengers because I like Steins Gate.
You like wine? I can't believe you also don't drink whiskey that is 500 years old. You fucking elitist.
Exactly. Thank you, my fucking, I almost called you Belgium. Fuck you, Mom.
Yes.
How dare you? I would quit on the spot.
Thank you so much, my Persian friend.
That's better. At least Persia was a real country.
All right, Mike, I'm going to shit my pants if we don't talk about Katanagatari. Actually, I'm going to anyway, but let's shift to Katanagatari.
All right. So everyone listening, we're doing something different now. We're mostly doing this different because Frog and Moth don't like Katanagatari. And so to get them through it as best as we can, we're going to watch 3 episodes at a time going forward when we do a Katanagatari episode. We aren't going to be doing them every other episode anymore. We're going to spread it out a lot more. And we're just gonna dive in whenever we get the hankering for
just
it.
so you know, I want to make something perfectly clear for you. I consider you forcing me to watch all 12 episodes of Katanagatari like a cardinal sin. So we're gonna watch all of Azazel-san together. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna make time. We're gonna be in the same room together, and I'm gonna make you watch all of Azazel-san.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Azazel-san is an anime about it's a guy who gets tomes that lets him summon demons from the other world, and as long as you have their tomes, they're incredibly weak, and he hires an assistant, and these demons all represent like horrible sins of mankind. Like they're not cute and cuddly at all. They want to rape you and eat your shit. I'm not kidding about that last part. And it's a comedy. And we're gonna watch it.
I know what I'm watching next.
Anyway, every episode of Katanagatari, we learn something about the story, and the themes and the characters. You know, the first episode sets up the very basic plot lineup of how the show is going to go forward. The second episode, shows us a state of the world. Parts of Japan are completely desertified at this point. And, it shows us that, the sword wielders themselves have pretty unique ideas about the world, and episode 3 shows us that not every wielder of a katana is bad. It also shows us that the Maniwani, the ninjas that appear in most every episode, are fucking jobbers. They're just fucking. They show up to clock in for their 9 to 5.
The Jobberani.
And this continues throughout the rest of the series. Every episode teaches us something.
Except for episode 5.
Including...
Episode 5 doesn't teach us a damn thing.
Episode 5 teaches us that Togama has a perfectly round butt. That is very important, I think.
God damn it. I hate both of you.
Look,
Episode 4. Hakuto Hari. Hari the Slender Sword.
Can I say the only good things I'm going to say about this show for the next hour? Can I?
I think the silence means yes.
Mike, you ready? Katanagatari. It's like an art exhibit, and I have to acknowledge that somebody did this art exhibit. Like this is man, this guy did this art exhibit. He really did. And they were very clever, or at least they think they're clever, because every episode was a month. The original airing, as you said, Mike, every episode was a month apart. And in the show, a month takes place between each episode, and they can only travel as far as they could have traveled that month. And they tell you what they did that month, and every episode takes place like maybe 1 to 3 days of that month, and then you don't see what happens for the next month. So a lot of the character development is very organic, and it's very interesting that they do it that way. That being said, this anime is so far up its own ass that I can't even positively acknowledge that. But yeah, okay, now we can continue.
Wait, what do you mean it's so up its own ass that you can't acknowledge something you just acknowledged?
The more words in something, the more I feel somebody's conceited and up their own ass about it. So you have amazing works of art like Ping Pong, where there's very little words and just a lot of people slapping each other's balls back and forth. Phenomenal. I fully understand everything there is to understand about ping pong. You have Promare. Not a lot of words, a lot of action. Promare, absolute masterpiece.
No, I've changed my opinion on Promare over the past couple of months. That shows that movie's like only
that
okay.
Movie's an ally. Are you saying you're not an ally, Mike?
That movie is the least gay movie people think is gay that has ever existed since American cinema.
I'm pretty sure that's of mice and
Reject
men.
vocabulary. Embrace balls. Go on.
But it's just the whole thing. The more they talk, the more I want to kill myself, Mike, because it's all talking. That's all they do is they talk. It's like
we've gotten past the episodes that are incredibly reverse shot heavy. Like these 3 episodes don't have as much of that.
No, but it's still like, I will say episode 4 is probably the most cleverly crafted episode of an anime that I've seen in a very, very long time. But that doesn't excuse the other 5 episodes I've watched. And I will say,
for a second, I was really confused because, like, you're talking about episode 4, but I realized you're also talking about
1, 2, and 3.
That's fair, I guess.
Now, I will say, episode 4, I have to acknowledge this. This was clever. This actually caught me so far off guard, it wasn't even funny. And I'm just going to say, they did good. They really did good here. Episode 3 ended with them setting up a preview, like, with a minute of preview animation of him fighting another swordsman. Like, full animated, like, minute of, like, he's in the most dangerous battle of his life. They're knocking mountains apart. They're throwing sharks at each other. Like, amazing. And then episode 4, you don't even see them fight at all. Like, they animated an entire PV that has no place in the next episode. That fight doesn't even happen on screen. And it was so clever, I couldn't even be mad at them for it.
The whole fake out of the 4th episode is just like a perfect line of, I am extremely mad because I just realized the episode ended, but then it becomes funny and you just want to subject someone else to it, and it's a never-ending cycle of pain
it's the
for
Huck
other
Finn
people.
movie premiere thing, where it's like, man, this was awful. I better show it to my friends.
Yeah, kinda.
I personally, episode 4 is my 3rd favorite.
No, so far it's
episode.
my favorite. But only if I've seen episode 3 first. Otherwise, episode 4 is meh.
Well, yes. In fact, when I first watched 4, I didn't know to watch the preview. I didn't know about the preview, so I was just like, oh, okay. If I had watched that, that's why I was specific whenever I was telling you guys to, when watching, to pay attention to the episode end previews, because it will set some stuff up later, because episode 4 just has a whole, like, the whole last fight just happened in the preview of the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And in so doing, episode 4 does something that I love. It shakes up the status quo of the series, which so far has been pretty standard Japanese-themed fantasy.
Before we go on, I just have to say that I really liked the Maniwani squad in this part.
I can't handle them. I cannot handle the Maniwani squad. They are... Gosh, what are they? They are the chicken and the mole from Sonic.
No. in fourth episode, it was a mantis, a honeybee, and a moth.
No, but like there was the original Sonic TV series that's like the most loosely related Sonic TV series, and in that one, Robotnik had a chicken and a mole robot that did everything for him.
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
And that's all I can think of the whole time I'm watching the Monty Wani Squad is like a bunch of furries that are there for comic relief.
To be honest, I didn't like them at my first watching either. I think they're way too shiny to be ninjas. I hate them. It always
the anime would be better. It's hard to say the anime would be better if they weren't there, because if they weren't there, episode 4 wouldn't have been as good as it was, but they're still like, they're like the kids you like to see get beat up, but then you're like, why did I have to include a character that I enjoy watching get beat up?
There's a jumpers.
The Maniwani are important to the story, especially like in episode 6, and in episode 5. Like they serve a purpose, and that is to create conflict for the narrative. Because there are cases in which they'll come up against someone, like we see in episode 6, where they find them and they're like, yeah, give me the sword. And they're like, oh, okay, here's the sword. If we don't have any conflict, then the story is just going to be boring.
I will say I did thoroughly enjoy that in episode 6, we finally met a swordsman who was just like, yeah, you know what? I don't need this. You guys are obviously achieving something great and spectacular. Just take it. Because I was waiting for that character to pop up. In fact, it was so...
And stuff like that's going to continue on. Like, this series... Like, the first 3 episodes, they set up the absolute basics. And then they start telling you that, okay, hey, you don't have to kill them. Sometimes they're not even soldiers. Sometimes they don't even know how to use a sword. Sometimes they're normal ass people. And in so doing, it allows us to view Shichika as he grows as a person and develops a worldview and emotions and feelings. Wherein at the starting of the series, he was very much vanilla himbo. Now he's himbo spicy.
I don't enjoy either of them, actually. I at this point, I'm just waiting for her to die because she deserves it. She deserves death and agony. The Stratogen.
Why?
I like her character design a whole lot, but her sheer incompetence, even as a tactician, is just like there's this weird girl power thing people do that drives me nuts. And his sister is actually a better example of this. His sister, if she left the island, the show would be over in a week. And yet,
hey, guess what?
And yet she gets sidelined so damn hard. It's like, oh wow, you have this super powerful character. Oh, but her dad was a bitch and was afraid of her. Okay.
No. Were you not paying attention at all?
I was paying attention. She's like, oh, yeah, so I have the ability to learn I'm freaking Sasuke. I can just look at someone and learn their techniques. And my daddy was afraid of me, so he wouldn't let me be the head of the family, Ugu. Like, holy crap, that's pathetic.
No, it is established that she has a sadistic personality, and to limit her power, he stopped her from learning the Kyoto Ryu, because if she fucking was able to harness her power despite her frail body, she would become a fucking evil creature.
Yeah, I know. That would be way more interesting than what we actually have.
Hey,
honestly,
Moth. Did you hear the last sentence of episode 6?
Yes.
I guess I did not hear the last episode of episode 6. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because it basically says
the person that destroyed that girl's village was his sister.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
She's the next boss fight in episode 7.
His sister is the next boss fight?
Yeah.
Oh man, I might actually watch episode 7 now, because like, just this. I maybe it's because of Mob Psycho and One Punch Man and Invincible, but I'm actually digging these these omnipotent characters just brawling everybody to the ground.
I mean, I
like, if the whole anime was just her murking everybody, I would find it way more interesting.
You're gonna like the last episode, just saying.
Okay, yeah, the last episode is fucking amazing.
It just, I honestly, I just feel like this whole show is very, very pretentious, which is one of my biggest issues.
Define pretentious, Moth. Because it's very easy to define. I just want to make sure you're using a word you know what it means.
So, this is going to be really weird that I bring this up twice in one episode. In the LDS Church, one of the things they strive to teach us is that if your message cannot be taught to, like, if what you're trying to say cannot be broken down and explained to the dumbest human beings possible, it's not a good message, and you're a bad person about telling that message. And I feel like a lot of this anime gives off an era, and this is just the Gatari series as a whole, gives off this air of like...
Katanagatari is not part of Monogatari.
I mean, it's the same author.
But it's a Gatari. It's a Gatari.
Moth, Gatari just is Japanese for story.
Yeah, so it's a Gatari. Anyway.
No, this is like saying Ore Monogatari is part of the Monogatari series. That's a fucking romance show with a big guy who's a giant cock fucking a small girl. It's not related.
Otoyama
Yes,
Otoyama Gatari is the best part of the Monogatari series.
Yeah, it really is. But it like, to enjoy this anime, I feel like I have to do a ton of homework. Like, I have to be like, oh, and then I reference this from Bakemonogatari, and then I go here and I checked out the author. Oh, and it's the same shit with, what was it, Haruhi? Where they couldn't even air Haruhi right?
You literally don't have to know shit about the rest of the Monogatari series. Has nothing to do with this. What are you talking about?
Well, it's just, it's like Haruhi, where they couldn't even air Haruhi right. They aired it like episode 379, and like you get this weird, it's like, oh, but trust me guys, it all makes sense with how powerful Haruhi is. And it's like, no, this is dumb and pretentious.
What are you talking about? what are you talking about?
The original airing of the melancholy of Haruhi wasn't aired sequentially.
I'm well aware of that fact. What does that have to do with anything?
It was fun.
That's it. That is it, Mike. It is just the fact that this guy is like, oh, by not telling you things or by shuffling things the wrong way. It's the same thing with Hateful Eight.
What do you mean? Not telling you things or shuffling things the wrong... What are you talking about?
This is the common things that the author does. He's like, oh, you have to be so smart to enjoy my work because I make you do homework when you watch my anime. Like, dude, I literally watch anime to turn my damn brain off. Don't do this.
Nisio Isin, as an author, is one of the most explicit authors that exists. It's one of his flaws. He tells you everything to your face.
Yes, but there's so much of it.
He explicitly explains the plot and themes.
There's so much. There's so many words, Mike. There's too many words. And when there's too many words, you have to start mining for details in the words because there's too many words.
Moth, why do you approach fiction with the same standards as explaining basic concepts to someone? I'm just confused by that part.
Explaining what concepts?
Basic concepts. Like, I understand that if you can explain something in simple words, it's not an explanation, but fiction is not about explaining stuff. It's about mystifying the audience to make them think that's the opposite goal.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the main reason why I don't enjoy these kind of things. It's like, you know, that appeals to somebody. That appeals to people like Mara, our friend who's so pretentious. He's got his head so far up his own ass, he can't even, like, find anybody else.
I mean, he's French.
That is not me. I don't enjoy having to do homework when I watch stuff.
Moth, you don't have to do homework. You just...
You literally
He explicitly tells you. No, Moth, I fucking didn't.
You told me
I said we could
the end
cancel
of episode
Katanagatari. I said you didn't even have to be on the episode. I could have made arrangements. There's one other person who's listening to this right now probably who wanted to be on Katanagatari. And you were like, nah, I'll fucking watch it. Fuck you!
No, but Mike, I have received so many complaints from our fans about not being on any episode for months now. I had to be here because I had to make our fans happy.
I monitor the fucking comment sections and everything. You heard shit from your friends, maybe, but and here's the deal. I'm not saying that, I don't want you here. I'm saying I don't want you here and miserable and dragging down the experience.
But here's the thing. If you had the three ideal people and I wasn't here right now, you know what it would be, Mike? It would just be like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. Oh, grip it harder. Get my glance. It was so good.
Okay, but how is watching the show homework?
Well, like, it's the same thing. Like, if I hadn't seen that end preview of episode 3, the magic of episode 4 would have been completely lost on me.
Yes, it's part of the show.
End preview should never be part of the show.
That's fair. It should be before the credits.
Like, the whole point of end previews are if I'm watching, like, Dragon Ball Z and I want to know if Goku's still standing while he's holding the Spirit Bomb next episode or not.
But here's the thing about Katanagatari. Every episode, there was in a month before the next episode. So, like, you had time to, like, if someone was like, dude, check out the animation from the ending of the 3rd episode, you'd be like, oh yeah, I skipped that. Let me go back to that. Like it's part of the experience.
Yeah, and like that reminds me of like old computer games where their anti-piracy measure was you had to have a decoder ring, where if you didn't have a physical copy of the decoder ring, you couldn't play the damn game. It was a beautiful thing in 2012, Mike. It really was, and I'm going to give him credit for that. But in 2021, I'm stupid. Don't do this.
Moth, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you comparing Katanagatari fucking having a little extra segment at the end of an episode to needing a decoder ring to make sure you don't have a pirated copy of a fucking video game? Your brain doesn't work!
At this point, I have to ask, did you turn the subs on? Because I'm confused.
No, I actually found a dubbed version. Thank God.
Okay.
No, shut the fuck up. If there was a dub version, I'd be happy, because that would be better. I would appreciate
dubbed in
dub
Portuguese.
I'm gonna dub you in water until the bubbles stop.
All jokes on you, I brought the toaster in for both of us, Mike.
So that was Hakuto Hari the Slender Sword.
We didn't even discuss the episode. What the fuck?
Maybe we should talk about Zokuto Yori. That's Yori the Rebel Sword.
Can we talk about the fact that I don't understand why anyone wants to sleep with this woman?
Tagame?
Yeah, episode 5 was just basically dudes wanting to bone her.
Yes.
Oh my god, you literally didn't pay attention to the fucking It explicitly tells you why the guy wants to fuck her! Oh my god!
Yeah, when they were meeting outside the inn, he was like, look, if you lose, you gotta let me smash. Let me clap them albino cheeks, yo.
And he was right to do so.
Yeah, see?
In that episode, it explicitly tells you that the reason why he fell in love with Togami at first sight was because of her stupid fucking catchphrase that she says.
Yeah, cheerio.
He heard it. It sounded like the thing that his dead sister fucking said, and it reminded him of that, and it was like, wow, that touched me on an emotional level,
yes,
and I felt...
I have
wanted
an
to get to know
Emoto
you because of
complex.
I mean, that doesn't negate the fact that he wanted to clap those chicks, and I think he's right to do so.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like, just keep
Togami's
calling
hot
me
as
Big
shit.
Brother the whole time. Cheerio and Big Brother the whole time. That's all I want to hear. I'm so close.
Tagame has the tightest little bond.
No, actually, I will say that is
Damn
a
it.
huge issue I have with this show because I had my door open and my speakers on loud. And they do the part where he's giving her a foot massage. And I'm well aware that, you know, like, they've done this bait and switch once already. I'm well aware they ain't fucking. But my wife is like 10 feet away. And if those speakers are too loud, she's going to come in. I'm going to have to explain to her why a dude's stomping on an albino chick.
Yeah, because it's because she wants him to step on her. She's the definition of a power bottom.
She is not even a remotely interesting character, and I'm starting to care less about the main character the longer it goes on. At this point, I just want to see his sister kill everything.
Quite frankly, I like the developing intimacy between the two over the past 6 episodes.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, that the fact that they're so comfortable with each other because they're technically betrothed, they're gonna bone.
I mean, on top of that, like, I love Tagame's personality. She's not a strategist, she's a schemer. She comes up with ideas on the spot, and, like, most of the time they sound like bullshit. And then, like, Shichika, who has a more calm, level-headed, like, outlook on things, is usually the one to either A, come up with a better idea on the spot, because he has, like, actual, like, skills and abilities, or B, to make her ideas actually work. And, like, she's a flying off the seat of her ass character who, is very endearing and fun. And at the same time, she's also one of the fucking biggest liars in the fucking world.
I like the fact that the whole scheming thing didn't show up in the last episode because, of course, we didn't get any time with them during the fight, and it doesn't appear in the next episode because they're fighting a little girl. But I really like that in this episode, her ideas were just like, yeah, just fucking throw him into the water and let him drown and then fish the armor out. What's the problem? That's the plan.
It was really funny. And then she's like, "Oh, I know. We can get a big a magnifying glass and we can fucking heat up the armor and cook them from the inside."
That was the dumbest. I enjoyed the cute little drawings they did, but that was the dumbest damn thing on the planet.
I mean, that's a legit strategy in D&D. There's a spell that does that. You fucking cook people in armor. It's a legit strategy.
I don't play tabletop games, because that requires me to read.
Shut up, 40K player.
Are you kidding me? Do you realize that I don't actually play that game? That I just buy models to paint them?
Wait, but then why were you trying to... Whenever I was getting into it, why were you like, oh man, this faction's good gameplay-wise? Did you think I was gonna play it?
I don't know. I had to cover all my bases. You realize I play orcs, right? And we haven't had a competitive list in like 3 editions? Like, I literally don't play to be competitive. I play because I want to show people this cool model that I painted, and that means I have to socialize with a bunch of people for 3 hours.
Wow.
But yeah, Yori the Rebel Sword. I actually really... this is one of the episodes. There's like 3 episodes that I didn't care for the first time I watched. And this is one of them that I didn't like. And then I watched it this time and I found, like... I was able to actually enjoy it. And I think part of the reason for that is because I was able to appreciate aspects of the story in the levels of subversion that it goes through because of this episode. One of the things that this episode shows you is that, not all the swords are fucking swords.
Yes.
It's a suit of fucking armor!
Well, no, if you watch the first episode, you know one of the swords is a gun.
Yeah.
Excuse you, one of the swords is 2 guns.
There we go.
I think you already did that bit in the first episode.
What was... oh, gosh. So episode 5. I will say as far as, like, these boring-ass milquetoast episodes, like 1, 2, 5, and 6 go, 5 is definitely the one I enjoyed the most.
I appreciate it, and, like, the design of the armor also is, like, really sick.
I enjoy the fact that this is the first time when...
His armor is the Season 2 One Punch Man Genos look.
I don't know what that means.
Like look up Season 2 of One Punch Man and look up Genos and, like, the way they did his armor. And that's the exact same armor in Katanagatari.
Let me see. Images.
I'm telling you, Mike, it's yeah.
Armor.
But, I mean, I liked it. It kind of looked a little bit like Demon Slayer, but, like, the way they did the colors on it was exactly the same as Genos from One Punch Man.
I mean, silvery, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, when it comes to the fight itself in this episode, I think this is the first time, and I really enjoyed it, where thinking kind of played a part. where it's been, okay, no techniques work, so the strength of the blow just goes around the earth, so just hit the guy into the air, then he can defuse the blow. And yeah, that works.
Yeah, it shows that, like, Shichika, as he's gotten more, like, combat, not training, but combat experience, he's started to overthink challenges, and sometimes you just gotta pick up a dude and throw him.
Sometimes that works.
And it was perfect. I would say this is the first time he didn't kill his opponent, which was nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the things, like, this is like this episode, like, it shows that since the priority is just getting the swords, and Shichika is, like, becoming, like, he's starting to embrace the humanity that he just didn't get to experience through being, like, isolated and learning this like, objectifying, like, fighting style.
I mean, it's been established that his sister ripped his nails off for biting them. I think it's kind of understandable he has no humanity at start.
True. But it's good to see that he's starting to take into consideration that maybe I don't have to fucking kill people. Maybe I can be a sword that doesn't fucking slice throats. And it's nice to see. It's also nice to see Shichika show his jealousy towards Togame, considering that the sword owner's offer of courtship.
Smash.
That bit was it's really funny. It's great to see him react in this manner where he expresses himself and he doesn't even really understand
beating
why
the
he's doing
ever-living
it.
piss out of her.
Hell yeah. We've established this podcast doesn't respect women.
That's how you establish you care for a girl. You pull out her hair. That's
true
what I
at
learned in
all.
elementary school.
I respect women. I respect all races, like all religions. I respect pretty much everybody, man. People are worth respecting as long as they work out.
Moth, I'm here. Don't lie to my face. I was introduced to you with a slur. Come on.
No, I love Polish people. They have some of the best bodybuilders I've ever seen. The general level of fitness in Polish men, amazing.
No, it's not.
Why did you moan? What the fuck? Why are you so horny for Polish men?
I'm horny for men who actually care about their bodies and want to look good and be healthy, Mike.
If you have seen the standard level of vodka consumption here, you would not have such a high opinion. It might look good, but it's not.
Look, all I've ever seen from Poland is a bunch of protest videos, and all those dudes are jacked as hell. That's all I'm gonna say.
There have been a lot of protests because they banned abortion some time ago. That's true.
And those dudes jacked as can be, so they have my respect. I don't even know what they stand for, but I agree with them because they're jacked.
Episode 6, Soto Kanazuchi, or Kanazuchi the Twin Sword.
Before we go on, I just want to say, episode 5 introduces the chicken manuani, and between episode 5 and 6, I remember why I hated that dude, because he's just the most spend happy bitch on earth. Oh yeah, I want to talk with you. Here's my arm. I thought, maybe his arm grows back. No, it doesn't. He has one arm for the rest of the series. We broke the conditions of our truce. Here's my teammate. Boom, dead. Are you happy now? He doesn't even consider that she said no afterwards. Fucking hell, man, you're terrible. You're a terrible negotiator.
I will say he has one of the best run animations I've ever seen.
Yeah, he has Naruto run.
He just runs like Naruto.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones I've ever seen, though, man. It's pretty great.
I prefer the fucking the butterflies run animation where he just glides on water. That shit was cool.
Yeah, well, he's dead now.
I insisted calling the butterfly Moth because he was short, strong, and simped for a woman before he died.
He didn't simp for her.
Yeah, he considered
you literally did not pay attention.
What, you talking about the chicken woman he was simping for? Because I thought you were talking about the sister for a second. I'm like, he was terrified of the sister.
No. I mean the chicken woman.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what are you talking about when you say he simped?
No. Don't worry. He wasn't that down bad.
She's a duck. She's a mallard. She's not a chicken.
Her costume's so dumb. It makes me so angry to look at.
All of their costumes.
No, hers is the worst by a mile.
All of the costumes are great. I love all of them, especially Penguin. Penguin's my favorite character.
The Penguin one is good, yeah. I like him, but the one that is the main villain in this episode, the tattoo girl, is it's pretty basic.
Oh yeah,
it's furry bait.
And
she's dressed up like a dog and she got big old bappers.
Mm-hmm. That she possesses a lolly.
Yeah, so we should talk about that. This episode features the first sword wielder who just genuinely doesn't care about the sword.
Because she's 11.
The sword doesn't even poison her.
She's an 11-year-old girl, and she's fucking... her design is, genuinely adorable. It's got, bear aesthetics to it. It's super cute.
Missing a front tooth, yeah.
And she just doesn't want to be alone after her fucking entire village was killed by Shichika's
in a tragic
sister.
accident.
Real tragic, real unfortunate that had to have happened.
Yep, it was real unfortunate that they had to get in her way.
I particularly like the fact that like there has been some through line of what each sword emphasizes. So like durability, speed, so on, defense, and this time is just pure mass. It's too heavy to even be called a sword. It's more like a hunk of iron.
Wait a second. That's the same thing as Kuwari Ramono.
I've been yelling a lot at Moth today. Tid, don't fucking make me yell at you. I swear to God, I will turn this podcast around.
What is it? Is it Kuwari Ramono? Katawari? It's the one with the dude who's got the stupid mask stuck to his face.
Utawari Runamono?
Yeah, that one. That one's got a giant sword that's more like a chunk of iron than a blade. That's what he's talking about.
I always read it as a Umono. It's the logo of the name.
It
can't even be called the title. It's more like a big hunk of letters. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the one guy, Glenn or whatever. His second in command has a giant sword that he can't use indoors because it's too heavy to swing around.
Mike, are you okay?
Yeah, this episode is really fucking cool because we get to see Shichika fight someone who is just not trained as a warrior, and because of that, he
gets his ass beat.
Fucking fighter.
Yeah.
Gets his arm broken.
Beginner slack, as always, the best strategy. Just wave the fucking sword around.
No. That's not beginner's luck. Okay, then I'm not saying she was like, she had talent or anything. She was just so strong that she could physically change the trajectory of the swing midair.
Yeah, that's true. But also just the fact that Shichika even says, yeah, I'm very used to fighting against swordsmen, somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, so I got caught off guard.
And I also like in this episode that Shichika and Togame, as they're just like resting, waiting for her to go find the sword and bring it to them, they talk and she's just Togame's like, Shichika, is there anything like you aren't fucking telling me? Like you knew that I was fucking saying Cheerio and that wasn't a fucking real word, you bitch. And he's like, oh yeah, also I know that my dad killed your dad.
Yeah. And she's,
also I killed my dad.
He's like, are you mad at me for my dad killing your dad? Do you still want to bone me after we're done here?
And I just wanna, this is really important to me, because I feel gaslit about it. I had an argument, well, more of a conversation, but I call it an argument because I've been seething about it because I'm obsessed, I'm an obsessive person, with Mara forever ago, like so long ago, doubt anyone but me even remembers it. And Mara was like, what? No, Shichika doesn't know that Togame's dad was killed by his dad. That's not a thing. He didn't know all that when they were going into it, despite the first episode explicitly telling you so. And It had been a couple months since I watched it, so I was like, and I know Mara has watched Katanagatari and read Katanagatari multiple times because he's a Nisio Isin fanboy. Of course he is. He's fucking French. And I had just assumed that, like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Even when I watched the first episode, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not reading this properly. Maybe I'm misunderstanding thoughts versus what is being spoken. I don't know. This episode explicitly states it.
Yeah. Also, why is it obvious that because he's French? I know Nisio Isin sounds like a French word, but come on.
It's because French don't have good taste in anything. I mean,
no, it's because and I called out Moth earlier because he's being an idiot, but Nisio Isin is pretentious.
There we go.
So
that's
there's
all
nothing
I wanted.
that
I just wanted validation, Mike.
No. Katanagatari is not pretentious, but Nisio Isin is. Like, he's a snooty McTootie, and I like his writing a lot of the times, but a lot of the times I also fucking hate his writing, because he thinks he's doing clever things when he's actually not.
It's, if you want to understand, like, French media and really understand it, this is all you gotta do, Titty. Get a hold of the City of Lost Children and try to watch that movie, and you'll absolutely understand why French should not be allowed to make media.
Moth, I read several works by Sartre and Camus. I think I'm done.
Fucking Moth, Tid is a fucking philosopher. he went to school for that. Like,
yeah, but he doesn't lift weights. So what does his philosophy matter?
I mean, it's valid. I'll start. I swear.
If you do, I will absolutely consider whatever you have to say.
Well, there's a live goal. Make Moth shut up and listen.
If you could, the day you could come to me and say, Moth, I can bench my body weight, I'll agree with whatever stupid ass political ideology you believe in.
110, Jesus Christ, that's gonna be a long time.
110 kilos?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
190 centimeters. I think that's 6'4", something like that.
Oh yeah, dude, if you don't get your back arch good, you're gonna be in a problem zone real fast.
I think I already do.
Wait, what's your body fat percentage?
I don't know. Probably pretty high.
Okay. If you're, let's see here, 110, 630. So 110 is roughly 200. And yeah, dude, you're a little bit overweight for somebody who's not bodybuilding. If you can get your kilos down to about 98 and then work your way back up, you can do some pretty good work real fast.
I'll try.
Mike, are you okay, Mike?
And that has been, on this day, in this month, the end of our Katanagatari conversation for now. I'm in pain.
Why are you in pain?
I'm just thinking if there's something. There was one thing I would also reference in the last episode, where we have been so far, as we said, Shichika starts says Dotlo Himbo with 0 social cues. In this episode, he is savvy enough to pretend to sleep while Togame is going off to like maybe hear if she says something more, but then we find out he wasn't sleeping at all. I think that was pretty clever as like split second scene. That's it.
Yeah, it really shows that like, even though Shichika's not like used to social interaction, he's starting to catch on to it now that he at this point in the story, he's been spending like 6 months around other people. And it's becoming more obvious that he's becoming his own person. And in so doing, he's developed a sense of like empathy and of his own personality as well.
Yeah, but at the same time, when Togama asks him, "Hey, Shichika, could you fight her?" and he says, "Like, yeah, a child is very easy to kill. What's the problem?"
I can straight up murder a kid. What's up?
Yeah,
but I think that like that more portrays like his surface level thought patterns more than anything, because in the fight, like, he didn't go all out. Even, like, in the actual fight, after the tattoo assassin transfers her consciousness to the little girl, don't worry about it, we didn't go over that, but it makes sense in the episode.
It doesn't.
Instead of... It makes...
I mean, I think it's fun, very funny. Sorry, I'm going to stop you here, Mike, that the Maniwani powers are so, I don't want to say diverse because that sounds positive. There is such a fucking scale between them because this fucking woman, she can transform between bodies. Did this so 2,000 times. Fucking amazing. Guy in the previous episode, 2 episodes before, can throw darts that are poison. That's his special fucking
And
power.
it took him years of his life.
Yes. Now I learned how to throw fucking caltrops.
So,
hey,
real quick,
that's
Mike.
not even like the rest of the Maniwani powers just continues to be fucking bullshit.
So, because I wasn't here during the seasonal episode, can I just take a quick minute to tell people like what I recommend, what I've been watching, what I've been loving?
Yeah, let me finish the thought I was having.
Okay, but Kakashi is on Crunchyroll now, the entire season.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay.
Shichika, as I was saying earlier, Shichika, like, he's become, like, more empathetic to a point where even whenever he is going all out against her, in that moment, he thinks of a technique that would allow him to defeat the Maniwani without killing the girl. And it's just off the top of his head. And it's like really cool. I actually really appreciate that. Like, he attacks the tattoo that traveled to her that was carrying the like fucking, I don't know, jizz of the Maniwani or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I want to say it's very Planescape attack the tattoo, but not the body that is on. It is on. It's weird, but I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, Moth, go ahead and tell people what bad shows you're watching.
Well, I mean, we've already gotten over the fact that my favorite this season is Tokyo Revengers, hands down. Don't toy with me, Nagatoro. I actually think I'm liking it more as an anime than I think I would have liked to as a manga because it seems to be going 100 miles an hour. Like, I don't know what the pacing is on the manga, but this pacing seems entirely too damn fast for a manga. So, really like Nagataro's pacing. It's absolute trash, but I like it. 86, I owe 86 an apology. I originally called 86 a good Iron Blood Orphans, and that's not true at all. 86 is a good Ghost in the Shell. And really been enjoying 86. Welcome to the Demon School Iramakun. It feels like season 1 was a giant build-up for me to enjoy season 2, and I've really been enjoying season 2. I think the anime that we're all going to agree upon is like the anime of the season is those Snow White notes.
No. I mean, I like those Snow White notes, but no.
Okay, what would you say the anime of the season is, Mike?
My favorite of the season is...
To Your Eternity?
No, I only watched the first episode of that and I dropped it.
Oh, wow, it gets good. I don't even like this anime because it's not my cup of tea, and I can't pretend it's not great.
I'd have to, let me actually look at the anime
Mike,
that I'm watching.
As somebody who doesn't like the type of anime To Your Eternity is, I like To Your Eternity.
As someone who doesn't watch seasonals, I'm just going to fill the air here for a second.
You're good.
Mike watches.
Odd Taxi, great. Love Odd Taxi. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I started with a lot more. I keep meaning to watch Burning Comedy, but I keep forgetting for some reason. Like, I really liked the first episode.
My favorite this season is Vivi Florida's song. That's an immaculate show that I am several episodes behind on, and that's just it's easy. Like, it's by Studio Wit, the people that brought us the good seasons of Attack on Titan and Tanya the Evil, good shit like that, and they brought it back with another banger about fucking what it means to be a robot and if robots can be human. And the very first episode
that's dumb as hell because that was Violet Evergarden. It was the same stupid premise.
That is Vivi Florida's song starts with a robot uprising in the future, and then time travels back 100 years to try and prevent the violent uprising by trying to convince an old robot to repeal robot rights illegally.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, yeah, that's the same fucking plot as Violet Evergarden, the show about a girl who has robot arms and writes sad letters. Shut up!
Wait, she's not a robot?
No, she just has mechanical arms because she lost them in the war.
Oh, I thought she was a robot. That's why everybody treated her like garbage.
No, they treat her like garbage because she's autism.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so she wasn't a robot.
Despite what people might think, autism and being a robot are not the same things. Also, Tanya the Evil was not made by Studio Wit; it was Studio Not.
Not
Oh, yes,
Studio Wit.
you're right. I got Nut and Wit mixed up.
Okay.
In that one moment.
But Studio Wit made Vinland Saga, and that's also good. So we know you're good there.
I meant to say Vinland Saga, and I couldn't remember the full name.
Okay. So, honestly, I would recommend if you are not deep into anime, like if you're just like an average surface level, like I enjoy surface stuff, and there is actually surface stuff. The anime I would recommend. Ooh, there's a lot of good anime this season, but there's not a lot that I would consider casual viewing. There's not a lot of anime that I would consider casual viewing because Iramakun is probably the most casual, but that's season 2. 86 keeps dancing between being a phenomenal anime and being absolute garbage. Maybe those Snow White notes. If I were to recommend an anime for casual viewers, it'd be those Snow White notes.
Just watch Godzilla Singular Point.
What's the name of the shamisen one?
That's Snow White Notes.
That. Okay, yeah, I plan on watching that.
Maybe Backflip. Backflip and those Snow White Notes. If you're a casual viewer, those are the 2 animes I'd recommend. I really enjoy Cestus, but I have no good reason to justify why I'm enjoying it, because it's garbage.
Because it has ripped dudes that fist
But
fight.
it really doesn't. I mean, it's like there are points. It's hitting everything I like in an anime, and it's hitting them like if you were to have a child try to play piano and they can't just smash the notes, they can only like tap the note very gently after a second of effort. That's how it feels. Like, I don't know a child that weak, but like an anemic child who just got done with cancer. Like they can't hit the notes as well as they want to.
But you admire the effort. Okay,
I don't even admire the effort. It's a bad anime, but it's everything I like, so I get to schlock it.
So, Tid, I meant to bring this up earlier, but you recently dropped an hour-long video on Attack on Titan.
Dude,
Yes,
can we talk about the manga spoilers, the last 8 pages?
I mean, the last 8 pages are just stupid fucking...
No, there's been leaks.
No, I know, I've read them. It's a stupid sequel hook that nobody wanted.
I absolutely love the guy's quote afterwards where he's like, I'm so glad my ending could hurt people. And I was like, man, I love you.
No, the ending didn't hurt people. The ending disappointed people. There's a big difference.
I think people are hysteric about the ending. It doesn't like stick the landing, but it's a fine. And considering the rest of the series was pretty great, I think people are over exaggerating their disappointment.
Honestly, I did not care about Attack on Titan until this last season, and I'm so glad what I've just seen for the last 13 episodes and chapter endings happened. It is so good.
Tid, you and I both know exactly why I don't... The exact words as to why I don't like the ending.
Yes,
that fucking...
yes.
That's the reason why I hate it. That's the reason why I think it had a cohesive theme, and it was like, I'm just gonna, at the very end here, as like a fucking shit cherry on the cake, I'm gonna have a character thank the genocidal maniac.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen my video that I spent several weeks fucking editing because of stupid copyrighted bullshit, and Magic's fucking dying on me several times as it was rendering. But I think if they replaced thank you with I'm sorry, it would get like 2 points more out of 10.
In that one moment, I would have been like, that's a pretty good ending. That's all it needed. That's all it needed.
Yeah.
Exactly. I really like the ending where Mikasa doesn't stay a spinster and she actually gets married. And now the main character, Aaron, has to sit there as a bird and watch her get railed by a different guy.
I just can't. I can't stand the fact that the series ends on like someone walking up to Hitler and be like, "Thank you for the Holocaust."
Yeah. Thank you for the Holocaust, Hitler. Now you're going to watch your childhood crush getting crailed by Himmler, I suppose. Who is
like,
Jean?
it's literally like since Hitler was half Jewish, it's a perfect parallel.
It really is. But I don't know why you have such a hard time believing that when there are people every day who try to thank Hitler for the Holocaust, Mike. Are you saying this would be like if Anne Frank went up to his gravestone and was like, thank you for the Holocaust?
Yes, actually, yes, considering it was Armin thanking him, kinda.
No, Armin would be more like Mangala.
Armin is Mangala? Do you wanna like...
Nope.
Do you wanna like explain that? And with that... I think this has been an episode of We Hate Anime Podcast. Sorry, Tid, that my fucking brain aneurysm made it so that I talked over you a bunch and you didn't get to say much. I apologize for that.
No, like, it's fine. I think I got to say all I wanted to say. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Tid got those witty bangers in.
I'm gonna bang you against the fucking brick wall.
Do you know
Good
how
night,
many
everybody.
like rape threats I've gotten this episode?
Titty bangers, that's good.
All right. Yep. Catch you guys later. Glad I could be back.
Yeah, see ya.